Hey guys, Wilcher here. I am getting ready to travel around the world, starting in Asia and moving through Africa and Europe. For 8 months, I will be taking photographs and making videos, and I hope you'll come along. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and I have a Patreon account if you'd like to support my travels. Today I'm going to talk to you about the 7 biggest fears I have before I leave for my trip. These are things that I'm worried about, that I'm not sure how I'm going to handle, and that I've never experienced before, so I'm nervous. The first thing I'm really nervous about is dealing with foreign currencies. I have never had to deal with them. All of my travels so far have been in the United States. I've been to all 50 states, so I've done a lot of travel, but I've never had to deal with a foreign currency. So I'm a little nervous about that. But some of the things I've done to sort of get ready for that is I have gotten a credit card that has no international fees. And I've also looked into apps that find ATMs that support your particular debit card. For instance, I have a Visa, and not all ATMs work with Visas overseas. And the same goes for MasterCard and whatever the other ones are. The second biggest fear I have about traveling is getting robbed, which is sort of an American, thing where we're just paranoid about everything, and I think it has to do a lot with the way the news is presented to us, but it's a fear, and it's not an unfounded fear. Lots of people, especially tourists, get mugged or robbed, and I don't want that to happen. So some of the things that I've done to, preemptively prepare / prevent is to buy locks. I've gotten TSA approved locks that go on my zippers. I also have a cable and a lock that I can attach my bag to either bike parking or a bench or a pole or a tree or whatever, just sort of some way to secure it so it can't easily be moved. I actually use this in Hawaii because a lot of the beaches in Hawaii are not good places to leave your stuff, so I would cable my bag to, say, a palm tree. A good rule of thumb is also to not bring anything that you can't replace. So for instance, no sentimental jewelry, things like that. Unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever you want to think, I am planning on, taking photographs and making videos, so I will be bringing a camera and my computer and other expensive equipment that is replaceable, but is not fun to replace. So the best thing to do there is to get insurance. Traveler's insurance is a great idea for any traveler, and I have yet to decide which plan I'm going to use, but I am looking into it, and I definitely will have traveler's insurance for my trip. So my third fear is my cell phone, and this is such a millennial thing or a modern thing, or whatever you want to call it. The fact that I am worried about not being able to use my cell phone. Because I use my cell phone for everything. I use it to get around. I use it to check my bank balance. I use it to use Instagram and YouTube and call my family and text my friends and email, and I use it for everything. And most of us do. So I'm a little worried about trying to figure all that out. Some options are to get a local SIM card. You have to make sure that you take your phone to your provider when you're home before you leave and get it unlocked. And that's a magical thing that I don't know anything about, but they unlock it. And then you can use a local SIM card. Other options are to just check with your phone company and see what their international plans are, and if your plan currently, provides for that, or I don't know. These are all things that I have yet to do, but are on my to-do list. Another option that people use is they'll just stick with Wi-Fi. And that's probably what I'll do for some places. I'll sort of do a mix of all of these things, where I'll just get a SIM card if I'm going to be somewhere for a long period of time, or I'll just go to a McDonald's or a Starbucks or something like that has free Wi-Fi and just use the Wi-Fi. My fourth fear is kind of silly, but it's also valid. It's valid, I think. I am traveling carry-on only, and so my backpack is 40 liters, which is not huge. It's not small, but it's not huge. And I'm worried about being able to fit everything that I want to bring, and then also having space if I collect things along my journey. Because I don't want to just go and see. I also think I will end up buying a few things, and it's going to have to be sort of an exchange system where I will buy something in a country and have to leave something behind there as well. because I have such limited space, so I'm being very selective and making sure I like everything and need everything that I'm bringing. Which leads me to how I'm dealing with this sort of irrational fear. Sort of rational, whatever. A big help to me is using packing cubes. Packing cubes are amazing, especially the ones that have like the expandable zipper thing, because you can actually use it as a compressor. So you fill your packing cube up with it expanded, and then you squash it and zip it back up so that it's really compressed. Those are awesome. The other thing that I'm doing is I'm being super particular about what I put in my bag. I'm going over everything multiple times. I have done at least 3 trial packouts and each time I've narrowed it down, each time I've become more specific, each time I have a better idea of what I actually can and can't take, actually want and don't want to take. It's super helpful to just do a trial and see, oh, this is what this amount of stuff actually packs down to. Do I want to deal with all of that? No. What can I get rid of? This, and this. The other thing that I'm doing now at this point, where I've sort of gotten it down to, okay, this is kind of what I think I want to take, and now I am living with just that stuff. What is life like if I only have these items? Do I need other items? Am I going to a certain item that I haven't put in my bag over and over again that maybe I should consider putting in my bag? That's just some of the ways I'm dealing with it. There are many, many methods. I'm sure everyone has their own. Figure it out. That's just what I'm doing. The 5th thing that I am afraid of is running out of money. I do have in my mind an idea of how I would like this trip to be, how I would like to spend my time, things I would like to do, how far I would like to go, where I would like to go, and money is a factor. And I really would just love to have that money last for all of the things that I want to do. I do have a considerable amount of money saved up, which I have worked over the years to save and, have been sort of preparing for this moment. But there have been so many things that I've had to pay for that I wasn't expecting, such as vaccines. I didn't expect to have to pay that much money for vaccines. I ended up buying a camera because after testing just using my phone, after testing just using my phone, I wasn't happy with the quality and wanted to make sure that the photos that I was bringing back were great and could be used for the future. I wanted to have more flexibility with editing them. So I just wanted quality photos because this is a big deal and I want to be able to capture it well. So I bought a camera. It's a Canon M3, so it's an older mirrorless model, but I am so excited about it. It's coming soon. So I've had to pay for that. So the amount of money that I thought I was going to have, I don't have quite that much. So it's a little, whoop. So I'm a little bit nervous that I just haven't got enough, which is stupid. It's a stupid fear, but I'm dealing with it. So the biggest way that I'm dealing with that is really, truly trying to figure out what I want to do. What are the things that I'm willing to splurge on because I really want to experience those things. So as I sort of look at countries that I'm going to, what are the things that I have to do? What are the things that if I leave this country and I don't do that thing, I'm going to be so upset with myself. So I'm making a list of all of those things and sort of calculating those into my budget. And if, those are the only things I get to do, that's okay, because those are what I really wanted to do. And then trying to find free activities to fill the rest of the time. And sometimes free activities are the best activities, like free museums, going to local parks, just wandering around cities and seeing the culture and the activity and the movement and how the city just sort of feels. Those are all free. And sometimes they're just great. They're awesome. I love doing those things. In Hawaii, I spent a good chunk of my time there just walking. Like, I walked a long way for no reason, just because I wanted to walk. It was free. I just sort of wanted to go. There were things along the way that I wanted to see, and it was just fun. I just got to walk and go at my own pace and sort of stop on the side of the road if there was something cool, and it was great. So free stuff's awesome. The other thing that I'm worried about is running out of time. I've allotted 8 months for this trip, and when you break it down, going around the world, seeing all the countries that I want to see, 8 months is not that long. We're talking 3 days to 2 weeks per country. And that's not a lot of time. Depending on the country, you know, some countries are smaller, there's less things to do, so, you know, maybe you could do it in 3 days. But that's still, like, really crunch time. You were running around like a chicken with your head cut off. There are other places where I'm prioritizing time because I really want to see them. So one of the ways I'm dealing with this is really, again, trying to figure out what do I really want to do. Unfortunately, with this, which is where my fear comes from, is that you don't really know until you get there what the country is like. And there may be things that come up that you really want to do that you didn't even know existed until you got there. And you've only allotted 3 days and you've already bought a plane ticket to the next country, and now what are you going to do? So that's a fear. The way I'm dealing with that is I'm trying to do as much research as possible to see if I can really figure out what are the things in this country that I want to do. Again, going back to the money thing. What do I really want to do? And I'm going to prioritize those over other things. However, I am also being spontaneous and not scheduling everything so that those things can happen, and being flexible is important. But I am worried about time. And the seventh and final fear that I'm dealing with is the fact that I may not have fun. Traveling is hard. It's not always glamour. You see all these Instagram photos of people in long flowing dresses wandering around the pyramids, but travel is dirty and hard and tiring, and yeah, it's exhausting. I'm kind of nervous that I'm not going to enjoy it. On the other hand, I do have some travel experience, so I kind of know what I'm getting into a little bit. This is a much larger scale than I've ever experienced, but yeah, I'm nervous. What if I don't have fun? So the ways that I'm dealing with this are that I'm telling myself, if you're not having fun, if this is miserable, you can go home. No one is forcing you to travel for 8 months. You can go home. It's okay. But I don't really want to do that. I would love to be able to do this full experience and go all the way around the world and experience so many different countries and cultures and see beautiful things and get exhausted and tired and gross. I think the biggest thing I have to keep reminding myself is to realize, okay, I'm not having fun, and to stop and reassess. You don't have to follow the conventional path. You don't have to do the touristy thing. You don't have to go to the museum that everyone says you have to go to. If you don't like going to museums, don't go to that museum. Go do something else. Go get ice cream. Why not? If you like ice cream, go get it. Do what you want to do. It's your life. You're on vacation, sort of. You get to do whatever you want to do. You don't have to do the thing that everyone wants you to do. You don't have to do the thing that everyone says you have to do. If you don't like those things, don't do those things. Figure out what you like and do that. It sounds so simple. For example, in Hawaii, everyone was like, you have to go to the Pearl Harbor Museum. You have to go. And I'm sure it would have been amazing. I think it's a significant historical event in America, but I really just didn't want to go. I didn't want to do it. So instead I went walking. I walked the length of the island. Why not? That's what I wanted to do. And I loved it. That was like my favorite day, was just walking. So weird. Anyone else going to Hawaii would be like, what? Why would you do that? That's so dumb. That's exhausting and dirty and gross. That's travel. So those are my big 7 fears. Thank you so much for sticking with me and watching all of them. I hope this was helpful for you. If you guys are experiencing any pre-travel fears, I would love to know about them. What are they? How are you dealing with them? Comment below. Again, you can follow me on Instagram, here at YouTube, Facebook, Patreon, all at Lowon Time Wilcher. I appreciate you for watching. Thank you so much. I hope you follow along. See you next time.